Hello, I'm Paul Oberst. I show with Bridgette Gallery in Philadelphia. I'm having a show titled Morphic Forms and Bronzes. It's opening September 5th and runs through the 29th with the opening reception on September 7th. And I saw the temple as this passage, an architectural building that would have existed in earlier cultures within humanity, that was brought to the present, and the passage through that temple would then take you to the next realm of consciousness, beyond the past, maybe beyond the future too, but certainly beyond this present. So this passage was how you got to that next realm of consciousness. And then over the years, that has evolved, and I've depicted all the elements within the temple, the ceremonial elements. So as you make that passage through the temple, you then simultaneously gain access to the interior of the temple, much like the pharaohs in ancient Egypt had access to all the items within the temple to get to the next realm. Each of us as individuals are undergoing a process of evolving, and the work that I am depicting, the temple and the passage through the temple, all the items within the temple, are a way for our spirits to take an even greater exponential evolution. There was a scientist who developed a theory that there is a memory, a resonant memory in each species. So within humans there's this memory of all the past that's brought us to the present. And that memory is within us, and within the work it's interesting because there is a memory within wire and within the materials of the show. And so there is that memory and our connection to that memory, and then it evolves over time. With each installation there is a morphing or a morphic nature to each work. Most of these blankets are an 8-inch grid of wire with an item at intersection points of the wires, the horizontal and vertical. And one of the pieces in the show is a bronze blanket with cast bronze rosebuds, dried roses that were dipped in wax and then cast in bronze. So as the individual makes the progressions through the temple and actually gains access to the interior of the temple on their spiritual, metaphysical, metaphoric journey, they are met by ceremonial attendants, which in my work are the banded men, and eventually they will be banded women. And those are kind of these entertaining, humorous, and also serious guides who wrap you in a blanket. In this installation, what I'm depicting is a gallery within the temple. It's moving through space and time, so it's being contorted and twisted in a sense, and stretched out through the gallery space. And so when you enter what would be a square room, a temple room, I imagine the ceremonial objects. And so this is basically a temple gallery that is morphing before our very eyes. I've always been interested in crossing media. I like my work to be involved with printmaking and drawing, sculpture, architecture. Haven't done bronze before, and I thought, and I've been resistant sometimes to working in more traditional media, but in this show I thought it's time to let go of that and explore bronze too. And it's been a very interesting process. You really feel the connection to artists, or I do, I feel the connection to artists who've worked in that material. This piece, Morphic Form, the title evolved over some searching over a week-long period. I had made this piece of wire. It's a wire grid, 8-inch wire grid with the fray going out the sides. This is actually the blanket rolled up, but I didn't think of exhibiting it that way. But when I had this piece, it was like a body. I'm carrying it on my arms, and it was just draping over my arms. It had weight. It had, the latex has weight. It felt so great, and I saw a nail in the wall, and I just went over and I hung it on the nail. And at that moment I go, this piece is going to be in the show exactly as it is. It's not going to be hung on the wall as a blanket. It's going to be a rolled blanket hung on the wall. What I wanted to address in the title was this morphic nature of this form. It was once considered a two-dimensional piece. It evolved into this three-dimensional piece that also has all these shadows when it's on the wall, these cast shadows and lines. So the piece is not only this here, but it's all the way down to the floor. It's this whole network of drawn lines in space. And each time it's exhibited, each time it's lit, it can never be the same. This piece will never look the same. And that made it a morphic piece.